We should be live now.
Great. Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for February 17, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Pantoja, will you call our next case, please?
Yes, Judge. It's cause number 2019-0D01839, State of Texas versus Junior Soto. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Jeep Darnell for Junior Soto. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. We're set for a final judges conference. Odyssey is just loading up. How are we doing on this one? Let me see.
Judge, you appointed me 1 week ago today on this case, so I didn't get any of the other hearings. I have not seen any evidence, and I can't meet with my client because he has COVID. Can I get a whole new set of settings, please?
Yes, let me see. Why don't, oh, there it is. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, so let me ask you, can we keep the 315 setting? Is it useful at all to keep that setting?
I'm going to be on vacation. I've got a vacation certificate in already for that week, Your Honor.
Gotcha. So are we looking at April then, you think?
Well, in April, I'm supposed to be in trial the entire month in Judge Guadarrama's court on Kenny Gomez case, so
Oh, wow.
who knows?
What's your, well, let's just get a new slate of settings for, let's just do a July trial date. How far, I mean, well, you just got appointed. You tell me, Mr. Darnell.
Your Honor, since this is a prison rec case, I would rather have some time. I just got the rec this morning. It's 5 TDC. So I need to probably do a real investigation and do all the things I'm supposed to do.
Okay, so let's go to November. Sandy, let's do, or is Sandy here?
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, Chewy, let's put it down for, we're gonna do November. I keep putting everything for the 4th.
Okay.
Let's go back. Let me go back up a week or two just so I don't start to bog down that date. Let's do October 21st with a final hearing plea deadline on the 18th. And then we'll have interim settings. Okie doke.
I can't think of a better way to spend my wedding anniversary than a family violence trial.
So you're gonna work it out.
We will do my best.
We'll do something. We'll do something.
There we go.
If not, we'll just put a big happy anniversary on that pocket.
There we go.
All right, Mr. Darnell, thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Chewy, who's next?
Okay, Judge Andrade on page 3.
Okay.
It's cause number 2021-0D02386, State of Texas versus David Andrade. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Julia Martita on behalf of Mr. Andrade, Your Honor.
Dave Macias for adult probation, Your Honor.
Okay, give me 1 second.
If I may, Your Honor, Mr. Pantoja, is my client in the waiting room?
I think
He's
this
already
is,
in the meeting. He just needs to connect.
Okay.
is this the one with the monitor? I'm trying to find. Is this the one with the monitor issue?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, he just pled on the
Right.
last weekend, last Tuesday.
Right, and I think we early on started hearing the grumblings about not being able to get the, is he here? There, he's connected.
Yes, so upon the plea, when we were finishing, well, when we finished the plea that we spoke to him here in court services, he did mention to the other CLO that was present that he wasn't going to be able to get the monitor because due to financial issues. He's unemployed, so was his wife. And I did mention that to you and you wanted us to bring it up today. You asked for a test as well, and Mr. Macias is present to provide that further information.
Okay, and I see Mr. Andrade, I see you raising your hand. Are you doing that on purpose or is that just an accident?
You know what, Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Andrade last Friday. He was having trouble connecting. His signal, I think he's in Sunny Clint. His signal it wasn't very good. I had to ask him to go outside to actually get a better signal and stuff. He also, I guess, is not familiar with the Zoom as well.
Mhm.
But that was one of the issues I had with him as far as being able to see him and connect with him and speak to him clearly. So I think he might be having that as well.
Ms. Martin, have you talked to him this morning maybe to see? I don't know why he's raising his hand.
Not this morning, Your Honor, but we did have a lengthy conversation yesterday as to why he is not able to have the monitor at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, I just don't know if he can hear us or not. So he knows how to log in. Maybe we can, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Maybe kick him out and see if he can come back, if you can message him to come back in. Mr.
think he's
Andrade,
good.
can you hear us? Okay, there he looks like he's
There he is.
connected to audio. Mr. Andrade, if you'll unmute now. Hmm,
I think he's saying he has no idea how to unmute.
right. I'm trying to think of the phone, Zoom.
Slide it to the right, slide the screen over, and it should have a circle that says tap to speak.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Erica. Mr. Andrade, can you hear us? It looks like he can hear us. Okay, if you can just listen and maybe try and figure out there should be an option if you swipe the screen that says tap to speak. I also thought if you kind of just tap the screen, you'll see a little microphone. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you're connected. Just hang on. I'm going to tell you, don't touch anything else. If you'll just stay quiet so we can discuss some things, and that way we don't have to worry about getting you back on. All righty.
Okay. Yes,
Okay,
Honor.
so I think I have the gist of what the issue is. Según there's a financial issue in terms of getting the monitor. I gotta assume he was in custody, Julia, the whole time before he pled. Now he's out. No.
Yes, Your Honor, if I may address everyone, Mr.
Sure.
Andrade was in there for like 140 days.
Mhm.
Family really struggled. His wife has health issues. I believe she had her hip replaced. At one point, the 13-year-old grandson, who they actually have legal custody of, was taking care of the grandmother and taking care of everything at the house. And Mr. Andrade has just been recently released, and he's looking for work. I believe he told me that he has a job. Is that not true, Mr. Andrade? That starts on Monday. But of course, but of course, it's not a very high-paying job, Your Honor. I mean, this is a family that really struggled while he was incarcerated, and now we're playing catch-up.
Mr. Andrade, where are you gonna be working?
I'm gonna be working at Werner. It's over here on Alameda, Socorro. I got it's at 1175 1 Alameda Avenue, Socorro, Texas.
How are you gonna get to work?
I live around 3/4 of a mile from there.
So you're gonna walk to work,
Or ride a bike, or
ride a bike?
yes, it's not close.
Are you, is it full-time employment? What are we talking about?
It's a temp to hire.
But how many hours do you think you're gonna be working?
I'm gonna be working. There's a lot of work overtime, at least 9 or 10 per day, and I'll also be working on Saturdays, full time.
Okay. Mr. Macias, I know this is not the first time a court or probation has come across the financial hurdle when it comes to the monitor. What options do we have? I'm not gonna rescind the requirement, but Julia, maybe we can transition, give him a minute to get on his feet. But there's no way he's not gonna have the monitor. He is gonna have a monitor. Mr. Macias, what can we do if the court allows a temporary extension of time to allow Mr. Andrade to get on his feet? What can we do to ensure, for example, after Friday, a week's work, someone's not out there, getting an 18 pack and having a party, right? He's not driving, that's good. I mean, what can we do to monitor him? Is there anything we can do?
Your Honor, if you want, we could have him report for UA ATG test on Mondays, following the weekends if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But what's called, the UA ATG test is $17 for every time they go.
Okay. Okay. And then in terms of monitors, do we know what is the least expensive option, even if it doesn't fit into the criteria?
What's it called? I wouldn't recommend an in-home unit, Your Honor. At this point, those are so obsolete, so old that it's not even funny. There's actually YouTube videos of how to bypass them. And I've had experiences where, yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. I think right now the least expensive mobile device is through Lifesaver. What's called, but I know that companies like right now, Smart Start has a back order. So even if they wanted to go with, say, Smart Start, I don't think he can, because I think he used to have an interlock with them. I'm not too sure, but they have back order. You'd have to go either, I think Lifesaver would be cheaper with theirs. I think it's about $98, I think, to give or take. Don't quote me on the price though. But yeah, they're that is probably the least expensive one that I know that we don't have issues with. Like I said, the in-home units are completely obsolete. They shouldn't be out there. And like I said, there's actually YouTube videos of how to bypass them.
And so the Lifesaver unit, I know we were discussing these the other day, that one does comply with the GPS and the daily reporting.
The Lifesaver mobile one, yes. The Lifesaver mobile device does have the GPS and it has instant notification, because I have people on them. And yeah, they notify me, okay, this person missed. And so I'll look into it and boom, okay, yeah, he blew like a couple minutes later.
Okay. So let me see. So I want a couple of things to happen. Mr. Andrade, I am not insensitive to financial constraints. I don't want to set you up for failure, but it is my responsibility under this type of supervision to make sure that you are not violating conditions, and that does require a monitor. I'm not picking on you. You have to know, for my DWIs, I am very strict on that monitor requirement. Okay.
Yes.
So this is what we're going to do. And I know Mr. Macias is a very vigilant officer. And so if he's supervising you, I'm going to allow Julia a couple of things. First of all, Mr. Macias, let's get proof of his employment. So let's make sure that he's got that employment going. Do your best, Mr. Andrade. Hopefully it works out well and it's a job that you can maintain and get some stability financially. I'm going to give him 30 days to get the monitor. Okay. So that means, this is what I see, Mr. Andrade, without any hiccups, you're working, you're getting an income, you're going to have to figure out a way to set aside, and Mr. Macias, if you can get him the details on that specific monitor, so he's not going to Smart Start and then finding out in 30 days that they're on back order. Let's just go with Lifesaver and go right away. Here are the details, Mr. Andrade, of the machine that you're going to have in 30 days. So that's going to be March 17th. We will, we're supposed to be in jury selection night. So let's go to March 15th at 10 a.m. Mr. Andrade, if Mr. Andrade is working, Julia, I don't need him here, okay? I just need to have confirmation from probation through him that we have a monitor. Okay. What I will ask Mr. Macias is that there be one random test, as you've described. It doesn't have to be on a Monday, it doesn't have to. So Mr. Andrade, to make sure there is some type of monitoring of your alcohol use, one of the tests, the type of test that Mr. Macias described, he's gonna have one instance where he's just gonna say, hey, Mr. Andrade, and Mr. Macias, give him, if you can, give him, you know, I would say a 48-hour window from when you notify him, because he may need to make arrangements with work and whatnot. But, you know, just figure out how to do it so we have a test in there. If you will continue to, Mr. Andrade, it's going to be on you to continue to inform Mr. Macias if your work situation changes. So in other words, I don't want to hear on the 15th, well, guess what? You know, I didn't keep that job for more than a week or something like that. And now, you know, I'm still behind, and no. Anything changes with respect to your employment, other situations that might affect your ability to have that monitor, you need to let Mr. Macias know, because he's going to report directly to me. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not trying to set you up for failure. I just don't want you drinking, and I don't want you driving. So we're going to get that monitor squared away. We'll be back on the 15th. Mr. Macias, do you have any other input on this case?
You know what, Your Honor, I'm not sure what happened with the previous CLO, but when I did speak to Mr. Andrade, I did explain his conditions of probation. He understood them, and he knew that he did have to get the unit. He had told me that at that time that he was going to try and borrow the money from his brother or brother-in-law. Apparently, he was not successful in doing that, but he was not hesitant. I did explain to him which unit you wanted, and I did give him the numbers. But this for the lifesaver number, number 2 lifesaver, I'll go ahead and give it to him. But I believe he did call, and it was just a situation where he did not have any money whatsoever.
So I'm looking at the full summary. It looks like there was a $600 fine and none of it was probated. In addition to that, it's indicating here that his probation fees are $60. So we're going to modify those both. The probation fees are going to be reduced to $25. And I'm going to probate the entire fine. Does also show that there is some restitution, so you will have to pay on that while you're on probation. But let's not start him off where he's, you know, got a bigger hole to dig out of financially than he can handle. Okay.
Thank
Mr.
you, Your Honor.
Macias, if you'll plan to be here on that March 15th hearing, you know, you can email a report beforehand, but if we have any issues, then I would like to speak with you, okay? Look,
course,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Andrade, Mr. Macias, he's a very detail-oriented officer, okay? I'm gonna say strict, but I don't want you to think like that means he's mean or anything like that. He just follows the court's rules and instructions. So that means I need you to do that as well, because if not, I very much know that Mr. Macias will let me know. So,
Yes,
all
Your
right,
Honor.
let's start off on a good foot, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, good luck to you. Good luck at your job. Ms.
Thank
Martinez,
you, ma'am.
anything else?
Nothing else, if I may be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Andrade. All right,
Thank you.
Mr. Macias, if at any point also, and Julia may, well, tell him this too, Mr. Andrade, the way you logged in today, if you ever need to come back to court and appear in court, that's how you do it on Zoom, okay?
Okay, sure will.
All right. Good luck to you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Macias. Are you here on somebody else?
No, may I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's next, Tree? Hello, Mr. Bailiff.
Sorry, Judge, I was muted. Recio on page 3 as well, Judge. Okay, it's cause number 2018-0D00619, State of Texas versus Pedro Emmanuel Recio. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Lorena Nunez on behalf of Mr. Pedro Recio.
All right, we are here on a motion for early discharge, Mr. Nunez, and of course your client is appearing. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, Your Honor, Mr. Recio was placed on probation on September 26, 2018. The offense was for injury to a child. On that day, he pled to 10 years community supervision deferred. Since then, Your Honor, he has completed everything that he was required to by the court while on probation. That includes everything from classes as well as any hours or fees and fines that he had to pay. I do believe that his probation officer can also attest to that as well. Since then, he's maintained employment. He's 28 years old. He's been working at Rio Grande Trade as an electronics technician. After the incident occurred, he did go on to graduate from UTEP as well in 2018 and received his degree in business management. So he's been a productive member of society since the date of the incident. He's complied and done well while on probation. And therefore, we are requesting that he be able to receive an early termination from the court, Your Honor. I do believe that he has rehabilitated and done well and ready to get back into society and continue being a good member, Your Honor.
Okay, Carla, are you covering this one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. It looks like on the case summary, in terms of, the kind of technical conditions, whatnot, those have been satisfied for the most part. What is he doing then right now on probation? What does he have to do?
It's just reporting, Your Honor. I'm sorry, my Odyssey just kind of froze on me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Mine has been really slow.
yes. So he's reporting, it's every 60 days, which is probably he's placed on the low risk caseload, meaning it's just reporting every 2 months since he has completed all other court order requirements. If you have the case summary, Judge, the only thing that kind of came up was when the officer did contact the complaining witnesses regarding the early discharge motion from Mr. Nunez, and they are not in agreement with the dismissal at this time.
Mhm.
Therefore, probation is not in agreement right now for the early termination.
Were part of his conditions to have no contact, or was there any order regarding the communication or contact with complainants or anything, witnesses, anything like that?
I believe it was a no contact.
Was a no
Let me
contact?
just double check on that, but I apologize, Judge. I logged on my case number a while back and it won't come up.
No worries.
And Your Honor, I was under the impression that his probation officer, Mr. David, I forget his last name. Is it Abogado, or am I saying that correctly, ma'am?
He didn't he retire, Carla, or is it Aisho Patarenas? Patricia
So
Arenas.
because he was possibly transferred, what I'm seeing is he's probably under that low risk caseload that we call it. They go to the supervisor or under the senior officer, whoever is in the office.
Because I was under the impression that he was okay with the termination because he's the one that initially suggested it to Mr. Recio, which is why he came into our office to hire us to do this, was because his probation officer had told him that he should request an early termination. And that's why we began the whole process and requested a hearing after filing a motion.
So I don't know the details of all of that, but it could be that by the time probation was aware that a motion had been filed, there had not been contact with the complainant. I mean, I'm not getting a report on probation that he hasn't been compliant per se. What we have here is some serious concerns on behalf of the complainants in this case. That there's been some issues. And so although, go ahead, Carly, did you have something else?
Your Honor, it is no contact.
Okay, so let me read this.
If the court would like, Judge, I can see if, I don't see that Mr. Abogado was the last officer, but I mean, whatever, if the court would like me to contact somebody or have Ms. Arenas present, I can call them.
Did we ever get, the complainant, is anyone here? And on behalf of the complainant? Is anybody in the waiting room? It looks like she was advised that she could attend the hearing and declined to do that.
She is not here. No one's in the waiting room.
Okay. Well, if Ms. Arenas, I mean, how long has Ms. Arenas been on the case? Because I mean, the report is pretty straightforward. I don't know if she would really have anything to add if. On the other hand, Mr. Nunez, if, you know, all really he is required to do is follow, you know, report every 60 days. And my biggest concern is going to be that we have no issues with respect to the complainant, and those are part of the conditions.
Correct. I understand that, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I see that he's been reporting every 60 days versus monthly since August 2021.
So last year.
I mean, at the time he was under a different officer, not Ms. Arenas, but I believe that officer is no longer with the department.
So Ms. Arenas has only had this case maybe a couple of months.
Correct, Judge.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Nunez, if you want, I can inquire further, but I think I have the information I need. I don't think this is overly complicated. I think the concern is enough for me to deny the request at this time. If you were to find out something different and you wanted to refile your request, feel free to do that. But based on what I'm seeing here, no, the request is denied.
Okay, and will that being said, Your Honor, would the court consider maybe switching him over to a non-reporting status on probation?
No, I think every 60 days is pretty close to not reporting. So I don't think it's a huge burden. I mean, he's supposed to be on for 10 years. He's been on since 2018. It's been 4 years.
Your Honor, and if I may, if I can just, for Mr. Nunez, they are reporting virtually still, is my understanding. So it's not like he has to go in person at this time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, the request is denied. Mr. Nunez, if you have some other concerns, by all means, send us something new, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Take care. You got it. Who's next, Chewy?
Judge Pfeiffer on page 3.
Go ahead.
It's cause number 2019-0D04540. State of Texas versus Justin Kyle Pfeiffer. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Edgar Eras for the probation department.
Good morning, and we are here. Mr. Pfeiffer is here. We're set for an admonishment hearing. Again, this is one I read yesterday, but Mr. Eras, please refresh my memory.
Yes, Judge. Good morning. You know what, Judge? Mr. Pfeiffer was placed on probation back in March of 2020. He was given a 2-year sentence, deferred probation for a burglary of a building. He was assessed $500 for restitution. He's paid $450. He's been telling me for close to the 2 years that he's been on probation that he's going to take care of his fees with the court costs, with collections for the fine and the court costs. He's got a balance of $300. And he's set to term, I believe, on March the 3rd.
March the 3rd, that was the
March
issue.
the 9th. Well, March the 9th is when he's set to term. Other than that, he's been reporting, he completed his theft class. He's paid some probation fees, but the main thing is the court fees that he's still.
So I think
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that last part with the train?
Mr. Eras,
Yes, I'm sorry, what was that again?
the last thing you said.
Yeah, the train.
That he's paid some, the main thing is the court costs. That's why I had scheduled this hearing.
Okay.
That and his probation term ends on March the 9th.
Mr. Pfeiffer, how are we doing
Yes, ma'am.
financially? Look at what I'm seeing here is exactly what Mr. Eras is telling me. You're getting ready to be done with probation, but I don't know, he froze. Mr. Pfeiffer, can you hear me?
Disabled veteran, 80% disabled, and
Mr. Pfeiffer, I'm so sorry. You stayed frozen for a good amount of time. You hadn't even started talking yet. Could you restart, please?
yes, ma'am. So, Wi-Fi. God damn it, you have the Wi-Fi.
Maybe if you turn off your video, sometimes that helps the audio.
Jeff, the Wi-Fi just went out.
I can hear you.
Can you? Oh, you can hear me?
Yes. So if you need to
Okay.
turn off your video, go ahead. Sometimes that helps the audio.
Okay, I'll do that real quick. Okay, so what I was saying is I'm the only one pulling an income in my household right now, and I'm a disabled veteran, and my income's solely through the VA, and I'm an 80% disabled veteran, and I was just going to school. I was pulling an income through Western Tech, but I had dropped out a month before because I was having difficulty with my gen ed classes, and so right now I just re-registered through EPCC to try to start a mini master so I can get back into college and have a little bit more income right now.
So what I show outstanding, I guess what is close to $300. I'm showing $290 in court costs, $212 in probation fees, and there's still $50 owing on restitution. How feasible is it for you to get this paid off?
Well, me and my wife just did my taxes January 31st, and we're supposed to be getting around like $13,600. We're supposed to get it at the end of February, and I was going to use that to try to pay everything off. And that was what I was going to do. It seems pretty feasible to me and my wife, but.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, Mr. Eras, is he's on my radar. Mr. Pfeiffer, I don't want to have to extend you for this, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're getting, a chunk of cash, that just take care of what we have here. Ultimately, the restitution, the probation fees, all of that, let's just take care of it. Mr. Eras,
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
gonna come back on March 8th. You said March 9th he terms, right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. If we don't have everything paid off by that date, then we'll go ahead and extend him. If not, we should be done, right?
Yes,
Mr.
Judge.
Pfeiffer.
And if I may, if he's taking care of all his fees, can I just go ahead and call the court and cancel the hearing?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Pfeiffer, if we don't have it taken care of, you're required to be here on March 8th, okay?
I completely understand, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. Eras.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You may. So may you, Mr. Pfeiffer. Good luck.
Thank you.
Who's next, Chuy?
Okay, Judge, of the cases that need to go before you and be on the record, that should take care of it.